Hello, hello, hello out there. This is Aunt Step, and I am just sitting here on my porch. Ah, it, anyway, I'm sitting here on my porch and on my back deck, and I was just wondering. I said to myself, how is it that people who are dealing with a narcissistic personality disorder is able to go about it alone? First thing I want to do is I'm actually just want to get the definition of narcissistic personality disorder. Someone who has a narcissism, a narcissist. You know what I mean. Anyway, an individual showing symptoms of or suffering from narcissism, such as an extremely self centered person who has an exaggerated sense of self importance. Since the narcissist is so convinced of his or her high station, and majority of them are men, but it is a rise of a lot of females, especially those who have been narcissistic mothers. Uh, that person automatically expects that others will recognize their superior qualities and will tell them so. This is Charles Zenor, author. But unlike the garden variety snob, narcissists have impaired relationships because they're unable to enter anyone else's world. So it's a one sided world. And that person is from Adele Waldman, another thirst. They're still raging narcissists with a sense of entitlement stronger than the gravitational field of Jupiter. And Judith Raskow has stated it. Another definition is a person who is overly concerned with his or her physical appearance. Say, for instance, I'm a like most baby boomers, a narcissist in pursuit of the perfect body. This is somebody, one form of narcissist where they're very composed about their bodies and stuff. So, actually, it is being said that we are living in a world of self entitlement, that it is a rise of narcissism personality disorders as we speak in this country. Some people even want to include that when we do our selfies, if you want to go there, I think that's if it is, it's on a low spectrum of it. But they're saying, a lot of times when you see a person just basically very self-absorbed, we're not talking about an average, talking about somebody who is at the extreme to this. And like one of the definitions in Thirst said, it's to the point that the only world they recognize is their own. That's when you know you're dealing with a narcissist. They don't have any empathy for no one else, and you are basically there to subserve them and their egos, and that's it. But the question that I wanted to ponder with today, because I thought about this before I did this recording, is what do one do? Meaning that when you're dealing with someone that has a narcissistic personality disorder, how do you cope? How do you deal with it? Thank goodness that we are starting to have more documentation on this type of personality, how it has affected a lot of dysfunctional family units, and as well as having some type of inability to get along with certain people on the job, out in community, especially if it's someone that's in a leadership position that has a narcissistic personality disorder. Is more documentation now in the psychological psychiatrist type of fields that recognize that this is a problem. They have a label for it, thank goodness for that. And now they can more study it and be able to give opinions and advice on how to deal with it. Now, the ultimate way a person's supposed to be able to deal with it is to not deal with it, believe it or not. But certain circumstances, people might have to deal with it until they're unable to deal with it, meaning that they separated themselves from that person. All of them seem to say that either you put some type of distance from the person, okay? Some type of distance, or you don't have any dealings with them. You break free and you get away, because the more you deal with them, the more it will actually increase their egos. They feed off of that type of negative drama type of energy. That's what they feed off of. And if they can make you feel, or if they feel like, or assume that they make you feel weaker than them by the way that you're, reacting to things, if they can twist your mind up and gaslight you and make you feel like you are second guessing your judgment, and it's like they're distorting your reality, that's how they feel themselves. And unfortunate in a circumstance like that, when they have other family members that um, feed into it, and the family members that they feed in, that are feeding into them, they might not be aware of this personality disorder. Um, they just don't want that type of, how can I say, they might just don't want that type of attention drawn to themselves. So it's one of those things that is better that it's on you, the drama and the wrath, than it is on them. So all in all, it's like, if you're that person, whatever position that you're in, um, say the scapegoat, like I'm the scapegoat for my family, the black sheep. Say you have that particular position, and in having that position, of course, a lot of the blame and guilt is put on you. No matter what's going on with the family, it's put on you. No matter what's going on in the job, it's put on you. No matter what's going on in the relationship, it's being put on you, as you're the one who's caused this. And most of the time, you're probably not. We all are humans, so yes, sometimes we do make mistakes, but you'll never find that person who has a narcissism personality disorder. You'll never find that they will admit to any mistakes they made. They don't say I'm sorry. It's hard. And if you see like they've even tried, it's probably hard for them. And you probably actually see them trying to say this, but they can't. Because if they admit that they're wrong, or that they have any weaknesses or faults, then they're grandiose of themselves, that facade that they believe they're putting on for everyone else to hide how they personally feel about themselves deep, deep down inside, will be shattered. So that's why they won't say, I'm sorry. And if you see someone like that, most likely they're narcissistic. They got the personality disorder. So, what do you do if you're dealing with someone or some people that are like that? Well, again, the psychologists all say to either distance yourself or break free and clear. There's really no other way, because they're going to be who they're going to be. Um, some say maybe they can heal, but they have to first admit that they have a problem, and then they could be worked on it. But it's just right now, so many that have not admitted is the reason why they haven't been able to heal from it. So again, I say, what do you do? Well, some advice that I can recommend from my own personal experience is that you definitely, like the psychologist say, you're going to have to give them some distance. For many, many years, I had undergone, I have a narcissistic mother, and unfortunately, our relationship only got worse as time went on. As a child, I recognized there was some problems, but I wasn't quite sure of how to put my finger on it. And as I got older, and unfortunately, I had to be like 51 when I discovered something to, learned about this narcissistic personality disorder. So what I had done was I first tried to just distance myself from him. I actually moved a state away, a whole state away, and I tried to continue to give that person respect because they were my mother. But like I said, years went by and it just got worse. It got worse in the sense that um, when it wasn't my fault, it always became my fault, even if I had nothing to do with it. If I was in the vicinity, some say it was my fault. They will communicate it to everyone else, whatever it was. that I had something to do with it, and sometimes I didn't. Um, I might have been in it, but I wasn't the one who done whatever it was that I supposed to have done. And unfortunately, because of that, it had went on to pass to my children, my two girls, and it's like a cancer. Okay, so I tried first, number one, to distance myself. I was hoping that that was going to be enough. That wasn't enough. Um, and now I'm at the point of no contact. I am underneath some legal stuff right now with them, but other than that, I have no contact. It was just too much like defamation of character going on, um, stating that I was doing things that no, I was not doing. And it got so bad again that my own daughters started to feed into it. And that's when I realized that I made a mistake by allowing my narcissistic mother to have any types of relationship with them. I thought I was being mature, that whatever disagreements and um, indifferences that me and my mother had, that I should not allow my children to suffer behind it by not having a relationship with her. I was wrong. So if you got children and if you believe that the narcissistic person is a bad influence, please don't let them around. Because what happens is that narcissistic person, like in my example, my mom, my mother, she was actually showing my children how to treat me. And I just didn't realize that. So right now, me and my daughters, I have two of them, a total of four by with marriage, but two biologically that unfortunately, I'm taping. Thank you. Shut the screen. Thank you. It's my son. Unfortunately, it didn't um, it didn't work out. Okay, so right now we're not having a good relationship, and one of them we had an excellent relationship, and that's a different story. I will share in the near future, but right now I am going to need for litigation because of defamation of character that was put against me, and I felt enough was enough. And yes, I actually went legal with it because it was just too much. So the only thing that I can share with you is that if you're facing this alone, this type of abuse, that you don't need to be by yourself. And what I mean is, you do need support. And support and being able to talk about it is the best therapy that you can have. If you have a trusted friend, someone who will not think that you're crazy or think you're off the wall because of what's going on and you're trying to share it and stuff and won't judge you, that will be the perfect person. If you have a clergy person that you can feel the same bit of confidentiality with, please, talk to the clergy person. Um, the perfect person actually is someone who's trained in dysfunctional behaviors of family members. That would, I would say, actually will be a number one person, because if you go to them, you can be able to share, and it's in privacy. It's your it's your behavioral health, mental health, whatever you want to call it, and they have tools in place that help you to be able to heal and to move on, to be able to get on with your life, and help you with your self-esteem, help you with your coping mechanisms, to being confident in who you are. You need all that when you're trying to heal from the tragedy of being a part of an abusive relationship, dealing with someone who has a narcissistic personality disorder. Doesn't matter what position that they was in, as long as you seen that you suffered from that abuse, you do need help. This is not something that you can just walk away and say, I'll be fine. No, because it is a mental, emotional abuse, and some people even go through physical abuse with it as well. So if you believe in prayer, and I myself I'm a Christian, a lot of spiritual building up is so needed. Prayer. to God. Pray for that person who has this problem because they do have a problem. Pray for yourself that you can heal from the trauma that you have experienced. Um, the other thing that you can also do is you can seek out online forums such as they got forums out here and stuff. Just Google it, narcissistic abuse survivors online forums to see what's out here. And another way online is actually Facebook. Facebook has a groups that's on it. They have plenty of groups. Just put in narcissistic abuse and you'll see them. Now, the group that I belong to is called Narcissistic Abuse. The Path of Healing. And here I go. I always get a mental block. That's my husband in the back. Narcissistic Abuse, The Path to Healing. And here I go. Forgive me. Let me get it. Narcissistic Abuse. I got it down in the description. I wrote it down, but I get these mental little farts every now and then. That's what I call them. Okay, narcissistic abuse, the path to healing, the path to healing, and moving on with your life. Narcissistic abuse, the path to healing, and moving on with your life. It's a Facebook group that just started on Facebook. So look for it, join it. It's a community of those who support each other through the trauma that they have gone through. It doesn't matter who the narcissistic personality disorder person is that's in your life. Everyone shares their feelings, they share their insights, they gain support from others who have experienced the same thing that you're going through. The most important thing to know that you are not going through this alone. It's very necessary, again, I say, that you get help. You get help with outside people to help build you back up. You help yourself through prayer, meditation, reading books, reading online literature, as well as just talking to a friend or someone that you can trust with this. And if you have a spouse that's supportive, that's very, very good. That's excellent. I myself, I do have a supportive spouse. Um, when I first was sharing with him what was going on, and it had been going on for many, many years, it was taking effect on my marriage. And again, I didn't know what was like the whole thing, what I was going through, until I started actually, just like you are right now, going on YouTube and just researching about it. And then I found out what was going on, and then I seek a therapist. And my husband took the time out himself on his own to research about um, narcissistic personality disorder and narcissistic mothers, flying monkeys, gaslight, all the terms that is associated with dealing with this problem and stuff. So it is helpful that you have someone in your corner. Now, if you find that you are not having someone in your corner and they're like, because I did try to reach out to one other person, but that other person that I reached out to just thought I was talking off the wall. So I had to stop the communication right there. I actually tried to show them a YouTube video and they thought that it was wacky. So I had to, back up off of that and just didn't talk to them about that anymore. And that's what I suggest you do. That if you try to share with someone and they're giving you the impression that you are in left field, leave it alone because it is true. There's nothing wrong with you. You are the greatest, one of the greatest creations that God has made on this earth. You are a beautiful person. You have been put on this earth not to be abused, but to be adored, uplifted, and to be able to uplift others. You are an individual that has a lot of gifts, a lot of talents, and you are right to want your emotional state to be stable. You do not have to be harassed. You do not have to be insulted. You do not have to be bashed with words. Your character does not have to be assassinated for someone else to feel good about themselves. You can be who you are, and you're entitled to live your life the way that you choose to live it. And this is something that I have to share with myself to make sure that I'm staying stable, because at any moment when you think back at all the times that that person has done so much harm to your emotional and mental state, you can feel so unwavering. You can feel like you can doubt things. And see, that goes on to other areas of your life. When you're trying to accomplish a goal, you'll have that doubt. And that doubt that you feel is the doubt that someone had did to you in the past that is now going with you in the future. And you have to learn how to put a stop to that and start moving from that and move on with your life. And the only way that you can do it is helping yourself. The worst thing you could do is try to think that you can stay alone, because what happens is your mind is going to go back and forth, your emotions is going to go back and forth, and you're going to experience anger, you're going to experience sadness. Oh my gosh, you're going to experience so much grief behind it all. And for those of you that have to necessarily do a no contact away from people like your family members who you have been connected to for all your life, do what you got to do. And the most important thing to do is surround yourself by people who do adore you, who do like you. Work on you. Work on how you project yourself to the world. Okay? It's the best thing to do is to see how you can help someone else. Go out there, join some type of community place, or community, some type of um, committee on your job, or out in your community, like I said, or your church or whatever, but join some type of group. Okay, they got meetups out there. Join some type of group that will let you be able to serve someone else. That's the best thing that you can do. It'll help you get out yourself. It will help the world to be a better place, and all you can do is take one committee, one group, one project at a time. But find a time in your time, because we all busy people, but it will get you so much out yourself, and it'll get you around other people, because the far as you get away from them people who have that narcissistic personality, or who are under the influence of a narcissistic person, because they can be cancerous. That stuff can spread. All right, you got to get away from that so you can be who you are entitled to be. And you need to be with people who are like minded, meaning that if you are in, say, the medical field, find some medical field people to be around. If you're near people who love a hobby such as cooking, or crocheting or whatever, find those type of groups to get involved, and build yourself up, and build you up. Okay? When you start being around people and you start giving a part of you and helping, you're gonna might everybody just might not appreciate your efforts, okay? But it's gonna be one person that you touch that you're gonna know you did the right thing. Okay. So this is Aunt Stephanie. I'm gonna put more videos up because I'm still on my healing path, and I'm glad I'm on it. I feel so good being disconnected from those who had did so harm. Oh God, I feel so great to be in this world. And even though it took me until I was 51 to catch on to what's going on, I still got some time left to live the life that I know I deserve to live. And you know what? You deserve to live the life that you should be able to live too. So make sure you subscribe to my channel. And make sure your notifications on, so when I do another video, you'll be notified immediately. Okay? I'm gonna try to do it at least once a week. But when that time comes, I want you to be aware that it happened. Subscribe, click like, and please share your story. Put your information down there. I need some comments going on. Thank you so very much. You have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.